Good morning and welcome to State of the Women. This is the seventh annual event. This morning, Deborah Robertson, Mayor from the City of Rialto.
Good morning, Deborah.
Good morning. Good morning, Erlinda.
Thank you for being here.
It's a pleasure. I'm so happy that we're able to start off this morning with the seventh annual State of the Women's event and bringing it back full circle to what it was when we started, which was on health. And so this year's theme is a healthy Rialto. And as you will see today, and hopefully from some of our attendees, you will get the sense of the enthusiasm and excitement that's in the air. You also will be introduced to some of our local business owners that I'm hoping that you will have a chance to talk with them on camera today. You will see some of the new looks that hopefully people will come to understand why Rialto, I believe Rialto is the jewel of the Inland Empire. And because of that, I'm going to today, this event as the mayor will have our first annual Jewel Award, which will be presented to someone this morning, and I want them to be able to be on camera as well. The Jewel Award recipient this year is going to be Miss Janice Strong, and she exemplifies why I think that Rialto is the jewel of the Inland Empire. But I'm not going to preempt it. I'm going to let you guys interview her, and you'll find out for yourself why I think that she's a great example of a beautiful jewel amongst our community.
And they're breaking down the doors, by the way, checking in, aren't they, Otis?
Yes, we're absolutely getting off to a grand start this morning and looking forward to having interviews with quite a few of the participants and finding out how their day is going to be structured.
And Deborah, what was your vision when you first started this?
Well, actually, the vision was more of not a vision as much it was a cry or a call for action, because 7 years ago we had just concluded a study on African American Health Initiative where we found out we focused starting off on looking at what was the county doing in health as far as it related to a comprehensive health plan for African Americans and people of color. And Erlinda, you've been in the medical profession at Kaiser, you understand
Yes.
that. And what we discovered was county unfortunately didn't not only have a comprehensive plan to focus on some concerns in the African American community and people of color, they didn't have a comprehensive health plan for the whole county at all. And so we had discovered that women were very high in a number of medical indicators such as heart attacks and strokes and high blood pressure, and then of course growing numbers in HIV, AIDS, diabetes. And so, it was more of an effort at the time to, seize the moment. We were right coming up on March. It was Women's History Month. Seize the moment and focus on health and really begin to start talking about how we take control of those concerns. First starts with awareness, being aware of what's happening with you, and then what you should do in terms of how you're going to be able to change and alter that outcome. So today, that's why I said I'm coming back full circle, but it's now a healthy Rialto. And when we talk about health, we're talking about all health. We're talking about the physical, the mental, the spiritual, the financial, the advancement. You really have to have all of those things you need to focus on in order for you, the person, to be moving forward and being a part of a healthy Rialto.
Just mentioning the healthy aspects of women and their status today, I see we have some vendors here.
Yes, we do.
Could you tell us a little bit about those vendors we have?
Well, you're going to have the chance and pleasure of interviewing some of them, but one of them is a relatively new vendor to our community. Her name, Gloria, her and her husband. They are a family-owned business, but they also are visually impaired. So they are state certified. They are running a nice little bistro here in Rialto. And then you might see what I have on right now on my earrings. They're called ear candy. And that is by a local
Love 'em.
female business owner here in Rialto who is designing these, so these are custom made, but they are also, I'm saying, be bold, set the trend. It's like we wear short hair but long earrings, so it go the other way now. And then of course the co-host, or I can't forget my wonderful co-host, which has been with me and helping to make this happen, and that's our city clerk, Miss Barbara McGee. And then another wonderful co-host organization is National Council of Negro Women. This thing has grown so one of the things I'm going to do next year is hopefully encourage our other women organizations to partner and become co-hosts with us as well. I want to take this opportunity before I forget to also thank my sponsors, because without them, this would not be possible. We have over 250 people in attendance and a waiting list. We have over 31 businesses, donors, corporations, friends who have donated baskets that will be raffled off, valued at $100 or more, and they are just going to be raffled off. There's no money being raised. And we also have sponsors who help to underwrite the cost of the lunch, and that is Skanska Corporation, which is a major general contractor, Dr. Daryl Morris, who is a local oral surgeon here in Rialto, Deborah Berg, an associate, a woman-owned construction management company, who oversaw the construction of the Riverside Avenue, I-10 Riverside Avenue interchange. And then we also have the John W. Vine Medical Society, African American Medical Society, who was a sponsor last year and has come back to be on board this year. And Dr. Rogers should be here for them. He is a surgeon at Riverside Community General. So if he's here, I hope that you will be able to interview him as well.
Well, that's very interesting. It's the sponsors are persons who have affiliations in the community as well as their business practices. Is that correct?
Yes. Very much so. They have business practices, affiliation. They either are living here or they are having a business in the area. So, there are just a number of them out there. And then we also have some women-owned businesses who have friendships, family members, and one as well will be Mrs. Pam Robinson. So I hope that our time will permit. And I'm looking forward to our former mayor who has loved coming to this. Grace is going to be here as well. So please get a comment from Grace.
We're going to work on that, aren't we, Otis?
We have a long list.
You guys got a long list, long day. Hopefully you'll be able to have your lunch in between interviews, but it's fantastic. And I just want to say to you, I've loved that you have been one of our commissioners as the Cable Advisory Commissioner.
Thank you.
And you have been the host of our Community Forum show. I want to thank Mr. Jackson for being here. Mr. Jackson is with KCAA 1050 radio show that broadcasts on Monday, and
he looks really nice, doesn't he?
Yes, he looks great. You're very dapper, but bringing business to you. So you guys, let's have a wonderful day and exciting day.
Good morning, and continuing here in the city of Rialto at the State of the Women Conference, we have Lois Carson, who is a Inland Empire Section President of the National Council of Negro Women. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm fine this morning.
Thank you for having me.
So tell me, Ms. Carson, this event today, is today the first opportunity you've had to participate in this conference, or?
No, it isn't. I've been involved with the State of the Women's Conference since its inception. And in fact, I was actually one of the local founders of the San Bernardino County Status of Women's Commission. At that time, there were only 3 elected officials. I was a college board member. Nancy Smith was a county supervisor, and Ann Botts was a city councilwoman in San Bernardino, and we petitioned to the county to start a Status of Women's Commission. So women's issues and this kind of organizational effort is something that's not new to me, but near and dear to me.
Oh, fantastic. Well, tell me, what do you anticipate that the outcome will be from today's event in terms of what we will get to hear and see from the participants and the sponsors and also some of the community-based organizations that are here today?
Well, some of the outcomes are more collaboration between women's organizations, raising the awareness of ordinary women about the state of women and the status of women in the economy, in the society, in political affairs, and all of that. And all of that is part of this long march toward equal rights for women.
Fantastic. Now, I'd just like to ask you a question about your organization. Could you tell us a little bit about your organization? When was it founded, and what is the mission of your organization?
Well, the National Council of Negro Women, which is headquartered in Washington, D.C., by the way, we have our offices halfway between the White House and the Capitol on Pennsylvania Avenue.
Now, that's high-priced real
But it
estate.
was founded by Mary McLeod Bethune
Yes.
in 1935 at the Harlem branch of the YWCA. And some of the inaugural members of that first group included Eleanor Roosevelt. Our local section here was chartered in 1969, and we have been active since that time. And we operate a Bethune Youth Center in honor of our founder, and we've been on Foothill Boulevard in Rialto for 27 years.
Can you tell us when you meet, and how would
We
a
meet
interested person in the community find out to where you are? And
By the way, our membership dues are $51. A part of that goes to Washington. Some is retained here locally, and we provide $1 to his Option House, a domestic violence shelter for women. Again, it's part of our focus on improving life for women. But we meet on the fourth Monday of every month at 6 p.m. at our Bethune Youth Center, which is located at 649 East Foothill Boulevard, right next to the Payless Shoe Store.
well, thank you very much for that information. And anyone interested in participating, do you have a website or a
Yes, we
phone
do.
number?
Yes, we have
Would
a
you tell us?
website, www.ncnwbethuneCenter.org, and our phone number is 909-874-6000.
Well, for all you interested folks, there is the information. I'd like
Come
to
one,
thank
come
you.
all. We want all women to be a part. Our late President Dr. Dorothy I. Height said we're there for all women, whether they have a PhD, MD, JD, or no D.
Well, we all need help, and it
Yes,
sounds
indeed.
like your organization is focused on health and
On the
opportunities for
family
women
and youth.
and the family.
Yes.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you so much for having me.
Hello, I'm Erlinda Patterson. Welcome.
Hi, Erlinda. Thank you for having us. My name is Wendy Medina, and I'm a field representative for Congresswoman Gloria Negrete McLeod.
Oh,
It's
she's a
pleasure-
fabulous lady.
It's a pleasure to be here and to extend her greetings as well as her regrets for not being able to participate in today's event. She's being held back in Washington.
And is it snowing back there?
No, it's not, but it's pretty cold out here, yes.
Wow. I know that if she could, she would be here.
She would, but I'm here on her behalf to also say thank you to Mayor Deborah Robertson for putting
Yes.
this event together, as well as City Clerk Barbara McGee and the National Council of Negro Women Inland Empire Section.
Yes, thank you so much. As you can see right now, it looks like we're going to have a standing room only
Yes,
event.
it's pretty full outside. It's walking in. It's standing room only.
Yeah, it's full inside already.
Yes.
So as you know, Deborah is working on the future event already and trying to figure out where we're going to do this big event.
Yeah.
It's bigger and bigger every
Gets
year.
bigger and bigger. So it just speaks to the wonderful work that they're doing.
Oh, absolutely. Thank you for coming. Thank
I
you so
also
much.
wanted to let the viewers know, the City of Rialto, that they're more than welcome to contact our office should they need any help with any federal agency.
absolutely.
We can be reached at 909-626-2054.
Oh,
Thank
great.
you for having us.
Repeat that number again.
909-626-2054.
Very good. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you, Erlinda.
Thank you so
Thank
very
you.
much.
We have for our next interview Julie Griffin and Dr. Mary McGee, and they are from the National Congress of Black Women. Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you for having us.
And they're here representing the Inland Empire chapter. Could you tell us a little bit about your organization, please?
Well, thank you very much. I would like to defer that to our founding chair.
I'm Dr. Mary McGee, and I am the founding chair of the Inland Empire chapter. We are a local chapter of the national chapter that's located in Washington, D.C.
Mhm.
Our national chair president is Dr. Ife Williams, and we take our bylaws and our instructions from the national chair and the national chapter. But as a local chapter, we also can do a little improvising with our national bylaws and our local bylaws. The National Congress of Black Women is a service organization. We are a 501 nonprofit 501c3 organization, and we do community service events. But here lately, for 2013, we've decided to do some national as well as international events.
Oh, fantastic.
Yes, we have a group of initiatives. We call them our 2013 campaign initiatives, and there are 15 of them. And we'll be doing some local things, national things, and international things to help communities, not only here in the United States, but abroad as well. The National Congress of Black Women was founded, I think, in 1983. And the original founders were Dr. C. Dolores Tucker, she was one of our matrons, and Dr. Dorothy Height, and Shirley Chisholm. And if I don't show my age, I worked on Shirley Chisholm's campaign when she went for president back in the day. But we are out and about in the community, and our goal is to empower women, not only for community service, but for national office as well, and national service. The National Congress of Black Women Inland Empire chapter was put together by me when I came back from Washington, D.C. working on my doctorate, and I served in the national office as their intern. And so my charge was to come back and start a chapter, which we did. And 2 years later, here we are. And we're moving forward, and we look forward to events like this so that we can partner with other communities, organizations, and other women organizations to enlighten women and to educate women. My profession by trade is that as a registered nurse, and I've seen a lot of things happen in the community that if women got involved, it would be less of. When you have more women involved, better outcomes happen when women are there. We seem to see a larger picture than men, and we go further because we're the head of the household, we're the mothers, we're the wives, we're the sisters, so things get accomplished a bit more. So that's something that we want to do as a national or local organization as well.
Oh, thank you. Well, Julie, could you tell us a little bit about the organization, what you do, why you wear the color red, what it signifies? Could you tell us, last year, a couple of the service-related events you had here in the community, and if a young person is out there interested in joining, where they can join, when you meet?
Thank you very much, Otis. The color, red, is our uniform because we step out in boldness. Everything we do, we are out to empower women at the local level as well as at the county, state, national level. We back women that are running for school board, women that are running for state offices, national offices. All of the women in our organization are extremely busy in their own communities, as well as politically connected. We want to make sure that people don't just get the vote out, that they understand what these initiatives, what the laws, what the rules, regulations affect their everyday lives, what they're all about. We want them to learn how to be an activist right where they're at in their own life, whether they're a mother, a sister, a daughter, wherever they're at, homemaker or a professional. We want to help empower women. And so we're constantly partnering with other organizations. This past year, some of the initiatives that we did the March of Dimes March for Babies. We have worked with YEMP, that's the Youth Empowerment and Motivation Program, where we go out into the community junior high schools and do presentations. We've worked with Feed the Children Everywhere, based out of Florida. They take big truckloads of food around to schools in local areas. Just this weekend, they're in Moreno Valley. And we will be partnering again with them next month. They're coming to Moreno Valley again, where they're helping low-income families that need bare essentials. As our economy continues to flounder, all of the service organizations are strapped. They're really hurting. Everyone is hurting in their homes, in their work lives. And so we're out there to encourage women to know that there is a sisterhood, that we can help each other, we network, we do what we can to make sure that everybody has what they need. And that's our number one goal, is to get out and empower women. So when we come in red, whatever the event, we're well remembered because we've come in boldness and we've stepped out there as encouragement to those women in that community to help them continue to help their communities.
Now, in terms of a person needing some assistance, where could they contact your organization?
You can
And when do you meet?
We meet every third Sunday of the month. Our headquarters is 23280 Gabarra Street in Moreno Valley, and that's our local chapter headquarters, which is my home. We work out of my home, and we have our monthly meetings every third Sunday. Our website is rnnurse5@verizon.net. Remember I said to you I was an RN?
RN.
RN
Say it
Nurse
again
5.
for the audience. Say it again
RN
for the
Nurse
audience.
5@verizon.net.
That's our email contact.
That's our email address, and the number is 951-656-5018. And you can Google us, and you'll find our website, and you can find information about our chapter on the website.
www.ncbw-iec.com.
Fantastic. Now, just as in closing statements, is there anything that you'd like to tell the listening audience, the viewing audience this morning about what you're going to get from the State of the Women Conference, what you expect to get out of it, what you'd like to see happen in the community over the next few months?
The number one thing that we have found so far is we've been introduced to numerous other women's community-based organizations, and their goal is very similar to ours, where we are helping with education, with fighting poverty in the community. And we have already been invited to several other events similar to this to help partner and to help grow those events, and we're very excited about that. This year, most of our initiatives are focused around education and poverty, and we are just thrilled to find so many other women that are wanting to meet those same needs and goals in their communities.
Well, I'm looking forward to your membership increasing in this community and your service output increasing in this community. And thank you for stopping by and talking with me this morning.
Thank you, Otis.
Thank you.
Good morning, Rialto! Hey! Hey, hey, hey! Thank you, everyone, for coming out this morning and joining us and being a little patient while we get everyone in the room and get things going. This is going to be an exciting morning. A lot of things are going to happen, a lot of fun things. I just want to say thank you guys. Thank you so much for coming out and being a part of the 7th annual State of the Women event. Can I get a round of applause? 6 years ago, we started this as a kind of like a call to action when we recognized that women, African American women, and women of color were the ones that were having some alarming rates as it related to a lot of health issues: diabetes, heart attacks, strokes, HIV, AIDS, just stress, and a number of things. And so I really thought I'd take the moment to seize on the fact that Women's History Month was coming up in March and call out everyone and ask, let's focus on what we can do and take charge of some of these issues so that we can bring the numbers down. Well, now 7 years later, I started as a council member. I'm now the mayor, and this is my first time being mayor of the State of the Women's event. And I want to say it's with you guys and everyone in my community that's made this possible. So it's fantastic, it's great. I feel excited about this, but we brought it back now circled. If you look at it today, it is our view on a healthy Rialto. And so today, some of the things that we will cover, and it's never enough time, but some of the things we will touch on and cover today are issues that deal with health, not only the physical health, the mental health, the spiritual health, our financial health, and being, the leaders in our families and in our community. I just want to take a moment before I sit down. They told me this time, now that I am the mayor, I should sit and not be the MC. So I will have an actual MC that will MC the event, and I'll have the opportunity to enjoy it. But I want to take a moment to, one, say that next year, as I promised last year, but this coming year, I really mean it. Next year, I will have a bigger venue because Unfortunately, we can only hold, as you see the sign, it says maximum occupancy is 120, so don't tell our fire marshal. We have about 250 people in this room. We have a waiting list, and we have people who are in overflow areas and will be having lunch or popping in to see what is going on. I would like to say that I will next year look at a new venue, and in talking with our city administrator, who also happens to be one of the deacons at Sunrise Church, I just dawned on me a light bulb. They have a large facility, over 400 people, so I'm going to hope and pray. It will hold over 400 people, so I'm going to hope and pray that along with Mike Story and our First Lady, Miss Story, Janet Story, we'll be able hopefully to hold this event at Sunrise Church next year. And I'm hoping that that will allow us to also partner and ask for other women organizations in Rialto as well as in the region to co-host with us on this event. So I'm looking forward to that. And I'd like to, with that, acknowledge our city administrator and his lovely wife, Mike Story, and his wife, Janet Story. And our mistress of ceremony will not necessarily know this, but I would like to also take the opportunity to acknowledge I believe one of his other department heads that's happened to be here, and that is our Director of Administrative Services and Community Services, George Harris, and his lovely wife, Claudia. He's the one responsible for this facility, along with a number of other things. And although he's going to be acknowledged as a dignitary, but I personally want to take the time to call him out and acknowledge him as well, because he's the young member, newest member on the council elected. I'm clarifying it because we have another member was appointed, but he's really turning out to really see a lot of things that go on in Rialto, and it's definitely a busy place. And I want to acknowledge Council Member Sean O'Connell over there. And thank him for wanting to be here and be in the room. So with that, I'm going to do a little introduction of our mistress of ceremony who will lead us today. And her name is R.J. Jackson. She's known nationwide as the Courageous Giver. She's encouraged the hearts of people around the world, including the Virgin Islands, Jamaica, Puerto Rico, Cambodia, Barbados, Bermuda, Kenya, Nigeria, Haiti, and Thailand. RJ is an international speaker, author, wellness coach, and mentor. She has been awarded with accolades such as Visionary of the Year, Leader of Distinction, and Trailblazer of the Year awards. RJ believes that life is measured by what you give, therefore she gives her life away, serving faithfully at her church, Water of Life Community Church, and in the community as a Project Impact prison ministry volunteer, teen mentor, Arrowhead Community Hospital volunteer, and a Rialto police volunteer. Thank you. RJ humbly acknowledges it is God's grace that allows her to do everything she does. She is a mother of 2 adult children, Saquana and Stephen, I hope I said that correctly, and affectionately known as Sweetie to her granddaughters, Angeli and Alexis. RJ invites you to stop by the Motivated by RJ booth after the conference so she can personally meet you. So would you all give a round of applause as we get our mistress of ceremony, Miss RJ Jackson. Thank you, babe.
Good morning. I think it should be a law to have so much beauty in one place. And I know you look good because you're simply my reflection. We do once again welcome you this morning, and thank you, Mayor Deborah. I want you to do me a favor. I don't think you actually heard what she said. You see, this is the state of the women. Our view, Healthy Rialto. And this is about women's history. And she said something about women's history that you guys missed. And I know you missed it because you did not rest to your feet and celebrate it. So I'm gonna say it one more time for her. I want you to catch this. And as you catch it, rest to your feet and celebrate women's history. She said she used to be council. Now she is mayor. Did you hear that? Come back up here, beautiful. Deborah. Y'all didn't hear me. You're not celebrating. Celebrate this woman. Celebrate.
We've done a long way, don't we? And a long way still to
Yes.
go. Thank you, guys. Thank you
Absolutely.
so much.
Thank you. We just finished celebrating Black history, but we got shortchanged a little bit by a couple of days, so we just had to spill over into March and celebrate history in the making in Rialto. The state of the women, our view, a healthy Rialto. Well, here is our view. As women, we are fearfully and wonderfully made. We are phenomenally phenomenal. We are the apple of God's eye. We are intelligent, strong, courageous. We are loving women who teach by our example. We are all that in a bag of chips. We are more than that. And so today I say celebrate one another's beauty and your reflection by celebrating the women in the room. Today I say to the men in the room, we do not want to exclude you. We invite you to behold our beauty, to embrace our strength, and to love us as we are. It is my goal and my role today to move the program along smoothly, so I am going to do my best to do just that. If I make any mistakes, I say this, charge it to my head and not my heart. I didn't mean to do it, I promise you. But there is one thing I want to do really quick as we acknowledge the dignitaries in the room and acknowledge all the women. They seem to have disappeared, but all morning, I have been seeing these beautiful little princesses run around, asking you, can I get you something? Can I take that for you? Oh, here's a seat available for you right here. I don't happen to see them, but I wish they were in the room right now, because I declare we need to celebrate them now so that we can honor them later. So maybe somebody can go and get them, and I'll sneak them in and let us acknowledge them for serving. They are doing it right now. So you know they will do it later. If we don't raise them up, if we don't show them the way, if we don't give them to take part, they will not know how to do it. So to the mayor, I honor you for allowing the young girls. Let's give it up for them. Come on in, ladies. Come on in. Just prance all the way around the room. Come on up here on the stage. Come on. And just come in one door and go out the other. You all are not celebrating these young ladies. Come on. Come on. Celebrate them. Celebrate them. Come on. Let's give them a walk. Go in that way. Yes. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. Some of you didn't stand up, and you should have, because you knew you were grouchy without your coffee, and they gave it to you. All right, I'm gonna do what I'm supposed to do while I'm up here. We have a great program in store for you today, so we invite you to surrender your heart, your minds to the new ideas that you will hear, to the thoughts that you will hear, and most of all, to the great people that you will meet today. There's greatness in this room, and it lies within each and every one of you. We're going to start this morning with acknowledging just a few more of our dignitaries. today. Some of them have already been acknowledged, but we do want to start with the city clerk. Barbara McGee did she step back in the room? I saw her. There she is. Awesome. This would not be possible today without her hard work as well. We have already acknowledged City Administrator Mike Story and his lovely wife, Sean O'Connor from Rialto. We thank you again for being here. We'd like to just, where you are, if you would just wave, we're gonna have you come up in just a moment, but if you would just wave, we want to acknowledge. First of all, we wanna start with, I know I saw her here, Assembly Member Cheryl Brown from the 47th District. Joanne Gilbert from the Rialto Unified School District Board Member. Lois Carter, from NC Carson. All right, there's one of those charge it to my head things from NCNW, the Inland Empire chapter. And also, let's see, we also want to acknowledge on behalf of Gloria Neglade Nakau, Wendy Medina. Wendy, are you here? If you could just wave your hand to let us know you're here. Awesome. If I missed anyone right now, don't worry, I'll come back to you. And we acknowledge all of you women today for being here. Without you, it's impossible. Thank you for being here. At this time, I would like to call up Assembly Member Cheryl Brown from the 47th District. We're going to have legislation updates, information that is important for you to know what is going on in your community, in your area, and how you can get involved and support. Please listen carefully because, as I always say, when you listen, you learn, and learning is fun.
Thank you, RJ. Isn't she a great MC? Wow. I'm impressed. We'll have to use you a lot more. Thank you so much. Thank you, each and every one of you. So good to see you here today. And I don't want to give you any boring things that are going on. Whenever you think of legislation, sometimes you think of it being so rote. But I just want to tell you some exciting things that we've come up with as we are in Sacramento and doing the work of the people of the 47th Assembly District. First, Rialto Mayor Deborah Robertson, thank you. NCNW, and I'm a life member of NCNW, the Inland Empire section, and City Clerk Barbara McGee. Thank you for giving us this opportunity to celebrate women in the 7th annual State of the Women History Month event. You know, according to what Barbara has told us, and according to what we've seen out in the aisles and in the foyer, this event is very, very special because it brings together so many different kinds of people. It brings together people who are doing employment, health, education, finance, and families. And when I walked in the door and I saw, I think her name is Fazan, I saw her shoes. I said, my. I don't know if you've seen her, but she's the first person walking in the door, and she's a small business. So this legislative session, I have introduced a number of bills that would improve the lives of women and children in California. My first bill, I went to the clerk's desk and I put that bill across just as proudly as I could. And what that bill would do was to give additional assistance to micro-enterprise businesses. Those are businesses that have 5 or less people. Those are businesses like those that are in the foyer. In our area, 2/3 of employment is given by small businesses. That being the case, I thought it would be very important that we have that small business bill. California is home to some 3 million micro enterprises, and they 60% of them are owned by women and minorities. And although they're small, they employ over 4 million Californians. Now, I haven't broken that down for the 47th district, but just think about it. That's a lot of us. My bill will allow local workforce investment boards to offer entrepreneur training, technical assistance for micro enterprises, and give people the tools they need to grow and expand their small businesses and create, again, more jobs. Another bill I've authored that has become very controversial is AB 335. That is going to help reduce costly car impounds. You know how whenever somebody gets stopped and somebody doesn't have a license or somebody doesn't have something and they impound the car for 30 days and you have to pay every day that car is impounded. Now, if you're a grandmother and your grandchild took the car and it's the only family car you have, what happens to that family whenever that car is impounded? Now, we understand that cities have to make money, Miss Robertson. we understand that, but it should not be on the backs of such poor people. And in our area, it's poor. So my bill does not stop police officers from doing their job. It doesn't say that they can't arrest somebody. It doesn't say that they can't give them a ticket. It doesn't say anything like that. Current law does not allow them to give your car back to you. They say, oh no, we're gonna punish you, we're gonna put it away for 30 days. And each day, I think it's $50 a day or some craziness. And then what happens with that money? That money never comes back, at least to you. It does go to, fund some services, but it goes back to the owners of those tow truck companies. And I'm not against any kind of business, but I am for people who need to have their automobiles, and there's no reason that another driver can't get that car. So my bill simply says that if the car is being driven illegally, or it can be legally parked, or any person who has a licensed driver's license can then pick that car up and take it where it needs to go. So that bill is that whenever you look at that bill as it stands right now, it is a real it has a disproportionate impact on the low-income communities. The fees are sometimes so high for that car that whenever they go in 30 days to pick it up, they leave it. So again, who gets the car? They sell it at an auction. You've lost your car, you can't go to work, you lose your job, you lose your house, you lose everything. And then you become homeless. Doesn't make sense. And I don't condone anybody driving without a license, not at all. But whenever people get into that situation, I don't think that 30 days is fair. Now, the third bill I've introduced is AB 1094, and it's going to help military veterans who are on CalWorks. Current law doesn't provide, it gives the others $225 whenever they're computing their CalWork benefits. But if you have disability and you're a veteran, then you are not eligible because you have other funds. But these are veterans, folks. They fought for us. I believe that this bill will just expand the definition of the disability-based unearned income to include veterans' disability compensation and help Californian veterans get the assistance that they need. Lastly, there's a bill that I've introduced that is kind of just to make some technical changes to the law in order to increase children's access to pediatric and subacute care facilities and services. These are kids that need very intensive, licensed, skilled nursing care. And there are some freestanding facilities that can take these young people, take these children, and help them. Current law prevents them from staying in this kind of hospital, and they have to stay in an environment that is very hospital, very sterile, but there's no reason why they can't be brought into a very loving place that will help these young people to get better or not to get better and live a better quality of life with what's left. So my bill will just be some technical changes that will increase a more friendly, family-friendly atmosphere, and it will be thousands of dollars saved to the hospitals. Now, if you have any questions, I've introduced even more bills, but I'm not going to bore you with them today. But if you have any questions, and if you have ideas about bills, it's too late for this year, but still, get in touch with my office. And if you have a pen handy, my office is local, and it's 909-381-3238. We are located at 290 North D Street, next to City Hall in San Bernardino on the 9th floor. So I thank you for the opportunity. I thank you for listening. And if you have any other questions about this, you can see me. I'll be around for a few more minutes. I do have another appointment to go to, a couple more events. And before I sit down, some people look at me and they say, you know, there's a girl that lives in Rialto and she looks just like you. Esther, stand up. That's my first cousin, Esther Alexander. Thank you so much. And thank you, ladies. This is a great day in Rialto.
Thank you, Ms. Brown. Let's see, testing. It's up here, but it doesn't look like it's on, so what I'll do is I'll relinquish my stand. We do want to give you an opportunity to ask a few questions, so if you have any questions of Ms. Brown right now while we have her physically here in the room, this would be a great opportunity for you to ask your questions. So if you would like to raise your hand to let us know that you have a question, that would be awesome. I can't guarantee you I'll see it, but raise it anyway. All right, awesome. So we were going to have someone with the mic. I think we do. So the young lady in the goat, if you wouldn't mind standing up so we'll see where you are.
Sure. Yes, I have a quick question. You mentioned the bills. Can you tell me a little bit about the process of them going from being a bill to being ratified or
being a law?
Processes and how long it takes?
You know, had I thought about that, I would have actually brought to you how a bill becomes law. And that's one of the things that I'm going to bring. I'm going to be bringing Dotson Wilson, who is the chief clerk, into our area. Some of the members of Principles of Faith have asked me to come and teach them about the process. He can do it far better than I. However, what we do is we get an idea. You may come and say, you know what? It's just unfair that I had to lose my car because of some situation. It's unfair that they picked it up and they took it. And when I went to get it, I said, well, I can pay for it today. But they said, no, you have to keep it for 30 days. Well, but 30 days, I won't be able to pay for it. So whenever you think about it, There's the idea and the genesis for the bill. It happened to somebody that I know, and it's happened to several people who would call our office, call Ms. Carter's office, and say, hey, what can we do about this? I even remember that they've called Gloria Negretti-McLeod's office whenever I worked there. So that's the beginning of the bill. You take that bill, you take the idea, and I have what's called a legislative director. She puts it in the format that it needs to be put into to go to the Ledge Council. Those are all the attorneys, and there's so many attorneys up there you would not believe it. So the attorneys then put it in the language that it needs to be put into. Then you take that bill, once you're satisfied, you take it to get a number across the desk. Once that goes across the desk, then it's assigned a number. And that's how we get the numbers that we got. What mine was 3 something, and then there's another one that's 10. That's the order in which the bills came in. Once that is done, it's assigned to a committee. I'm on the Rules Committee, and every bill has to come through rules. So before we have a meeting, we have a rules meeting, and we then put the bills across so that they can go to the committee. Once they go through the committee, then they go through the process of being vetted, and you come in and say, I don't like it, or you say, I like it, and you go back and forth. There may be some amendments to it. And then it's voted on in the committee. Once the committee votes on it, and it comes out of committee, then it comes back to where, the whole House. But when it finishes that, then it has to go over to the Senate. Now, if there's 2 different versions, or if there's something that's different, then you have to have a conference, and then that bill comes together. But that's just the kind of short of it, very, very short of it. Is that right? That's a very, very short of it. But it's a process, and if you ever get a chance to come up, somebody said they're coming to shadow me. Come shadow me. You will not believe. I go from 8 in the morning until 8 at night every single day that I'm in Sacramento. I'm there. I fly in. I was going to go take my husband up there with me. Found out that they don't really have a lot of handicap facilities where you can bring someone in that needs a lot of handicap help. So I was unable to do that. So if you come up there, though, you'll see what I do. And from Monday to Thursday, we're in Sacramento. And Thursday, we come back Thursday afternoon. I generally do events if there's an event. Friday, we do events. Saturday, we do events. And Sunday, I go to church, and I might go to 1 or 2, 3, 4, 5. I go to church. And then I start back over on Monday. But it's really, I'm not complaining. I am so blessed. I can do something for all of you. And I didn't even know I could do all the things I could do.
That was a great question. Thank you so much for your question.
Sorry I took so long.
No, you're fine.
It's a long question. Okay, that's it?
Thank you. One more question? We have room for time for one more.
Good morning. My name is Ruthie Goldthorne. I represent the 61st Assembly District, elected to my 10th term with Riverside County Democratic Party. It's obviously a tremendous pleasure and privilege to be here. I have a couple of questions. I didn't catch the number of the bill on the pediatric care and on your car jail bail bill. I call it the car jail bail because your car's in jail for 30 days. It's a minimum sentence. And the bail is exponential versus being set at one amount. Bail is usually a flat amount, usually a percentage. I think that it's about time that was taken care of. And the disability community is obviously disproportionately disadvantaged as well as lower socioeconomic communities of interest. So thank you. And who is the sponsor of that bill?
Me.
Oh,
Yeah, I was giving you my legislative updates. I'm sorry. Yeah.
I know, you're the author, but I didn't know.
I'm sorry, who's the sponsor?
Correct.
Oh, I'm sorry. I misunderstood you. Okay, I have no sponsor for the jail bill. What do you call it? I'm gonna adopt that one. Get out of jail bill. Yeah, that's my bill.
Okay. And
The subacute. The subacute bill number is, I think it's 1310. 1310. That just means it was the 1,310th bill that came in.
You'll be hearing from Californians for Disability Rights in support of both of those bills. I serve on the
Great.
Legislative Committee and
Woo-hoo! Wait a minute. Great. And that's another thing you can do. If you like my bills, please write me a note, send me an email, say, I like this bill, because whenever it comes up, I had the first day on that one bill, I had people call in our office, and I don't know how many calls we got. They were all from Van Nuys, all from, up north, and they were saying, no, you're just doing this so that illegal aliens can get driver's license. I'm saying, what in the world does that have to do with your car getting out of jail? I like that, getting out of jail. But before I sit down, and I know my time has been spent, I do have to honor, and I do have to say, Miss Carter, I did not see you back there. Please stand up. Let's welcome Amina Carter. Because if it had not been for her, then there could be no me. So thank you. It's simply assembly.brown@assembly, spelled out, .ca.gov. And that's assembly member, all spelled out, one word, dot, then Brown, my last name, at assembly.ca.gov. Please send me an email and tell me if you like these bills. I really, really would appreciate it. It helps me to convince my colleagues that, hey, she got it going on. Thanks.
Thank you so very much. Thank you for your questions as well. Just want to recap just one thing that Ms. Brown stated as she talked about the bill that she presents. She talked about this area being a poor area. We are poor on paper, but we are rich in spirit. But the only way we can be rich is to support one another. She ended by saying, there is so much that I can do for all of you. I just want to turn that around and say there is so much that all of you can do for her. I saw a young lady come in today with the most awesome shoes on as well, and she also had an awesome saying on her back. And so, Ms. Brown, you stated that you have some controversy going on with one of your bills. Well, her shirt well represents what you need to hear about that controversy. It says, well-behaved women rarely make history. So go ahead, girl, make history. Controversy comes when history is in the making. I want to take a moment to acknowledge just a few other people who have joined us today. We want to say on behalf of Congressman Gary Miller, we have Suzette Swallow here as a representative. Suzette, can you just stand and wave to us, please? Where are you? Awesome. Thank you so much for being here. And on behalf of Supervisor Josie Gonzalez, we have Carissa Camry. Carissa. Awesome. Thank you so much, Carissa. For those of you who missed the email to contact our assembly member, Ms. Brown, you can always go on the website. She does have a website, and get the information, become informed of what's going on, stay up to date, and most of all, stay involved. The next person that we would like to have an update from is from the Rialto Unified School District, none other than Joanne Gilbert.
Thank you, RJ. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. The Rialto Unified School District. I welcome you on behalf of the Rialto Unified School District. We are 26,000 strong, students strong. We are also the largest employer for the city of Rialto. We employ over 2,000 employees that work in the Unified School District. So I'm really proud, I was really proud when our mayor, newly elected mayor, Deborah Robertson, reached out to me and said, Joanne, I need to talk with your superintendent because we need to work together. And I was really happy that this was going to take place. So she started off in the right direction because we service the same people in this city. So when the city connects with the school district, then things are set to take place and go forward in the right direction. So I was really proud of that, and we did have that meeting, and she has already used our facilities, and so we're really working together, and I think that will continue. Also, our newly elected city council member, Sean O'Connell, has paid many visits to the school district, and he has also reached out in support of working with the school district. This is an exciting time of year for the school district, you know, with graduation coming, and we will be graduating a little over 1,200 kids this year, maybe more. I don't have an exact number. Something is different as far as graduation. We will have graduation, all the high schools will graduate on the same day, June 2nd, and it will be at the Citizens Bank Arena in Ontario. So the first graduation starts at 10 a.m. and the last one starts at 7 p.m. So we will be there all day. But it's an exciting time for parents and students to come because at the arena, you know, they have the visual screen so that the kids can actually see themselves getting their diplomas, and the parents can see their children face on the screen, and it's really exciting. And last year was the first time we did that, and it worked out well, so we decided to do it again this year. Along with the excitement of school closing, this is also a stressful time for the school year because this is a time when we have to send out pink slips. And you know, you pick up the newspaper and you see that every school district is laying off hundreds of teachers and so forth. I just want you to understand, because a lot of times people don't understand that this is not something that the school districts do because they want to do it. It's a governmental state of California mandate that says on March 15th, yes, we do need to change that. Yes, we do. But the state, right now, the state law says that every school district in the state of California must send out a pink slip. We go through our budget and we decide which teachers will be on the list that may be laid off. We have to submit those names with a letter to those employees to let them know that there is a possibility that they may not be reemployed for the following school year. If we don't do that, any teacher that does not get a pink slip is guaranteed a job. But when you think about the school district, we have to look at our budget. So we have to decide where our budget is going to, how it's going to affect our budget with the number of employees that we have. See, the trick is that we don't get our budget until after the May revise, when the governor decides what he wants to give to the school districts, how much we are going to be allowed for spending with salaries and so forth. So yes, Cheryl, there is something that we need to work on. In the legislature, that is something that has been going on, and it's a stressful time for employees because they have to go from March 15th until June before they can make plans for their family, before they can, whether they, will be able to come back, return to school. And I know I see a lot of teachers in the audience, and they know exactly what I'm talking about with that letter, that pink slip letter that comes out. It's very stressful, but we're working through it. And the good part about it, last year, I can't say what's going to happen this year for the city of Rialto, but we did send out over 112, I think it was around 112 pink slips, but every teacher that received a pink slip was offered their job back after we got our budget. That was last year. We hope to be able to do the same for the next school year, 2013-14 school year. So all in all, Rialto is doing what we do best, and that is stress academic success for our students. So thank you for the opportunity to share something about Rialto School District. Don't get upset when you find in the newspaper coming shortly that we will be sending out pink slips, but hopefully they will be revoked at the end of June. Thank you.
We are going to take a moment to answer any questions you may have, and we're going to have two. I see one right here from this table, so if you have a question when this one is finished, I will try my best to acknowledge you, so raise your hand high.
Assemblymember Brown.
Thank you so much. We just passed Proposition 30, and Proposition 30, to all of you, thank you, should rectify all of that.
We hope it should, but he hasn't given us the governor.
I'm just saying,
yes.
We've been told in our meeting.
We have too, but we don't know what's going to happen until we get that budget from Sacramento. March 15th is still coming in what? 12 days? 12 days. So we still have to be on track to do that. It goes to the governor. We don't do anything until the governor May revised budget comes down. Our hands are tied until then. Somebody else had a question in the back. All right, very quickly, they said I can't have any more questions after this. Yes.
I know that Rialto has a lot of retired professionals. I'm one. Dr. Horton, depending on where I go. Locally, I'm Eugenia Horton. Within the senior community, where I have a support group I run, I'm asking this or announcing this because within the segment of those 26,000 or so students, there are pieces in there. I do serve on the financial board, scholarship board in San Bernardino. But do you have that kind of piece there in the school system for the high school part And do you have a leadership for it where people like myself who are retired can partake?
I don't really understand. Do we have scholarships?
A leadership program.
More mentorship, leadership, opportunity for retired people like myself.
Oh, sure, yes, we do. We have what's called the Parent Institute. The Parent Institute is it's located on 150, no, it's on Palm Avenue. I don't know the exact address. But that is a place where parents as well as volunteers can come to work, to serve. So if you're interested in that, please look up the Parent Institute. It's in the district directory where they will lead you to where you can do that. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ms. Gilbert, and thank you so much for your questions. As we are honoring you by honoring your time, we're going to continue to move our program right along. And at this time, on behalf of Gloria McLeod's office, Wendy Medina, we invite you to come to the podium at this time. Let's give her a hand as she's coming.
Good morning. It is a privilege to be here. I feel like there's so much energy in the room, like raw, yeah. You know, I'm a mother of 3 beautiful girls, so it's great to see everything that is being done for their future. So I'm very happy to be here. Congresswoman Negrete McLeod is in Washington, so she sends her greetings and her regrets for not being here. She has participated in the past. So on behalf of her, Congresswoman McLeod, I have certificates of congressional recognition for our wonderful mayor, Deborah Robertson. Can you please come up?
Thank you.
It is in recognition of outstanding and invaluable service to the community.
All right, thank you so much.
I also have one for our city clerk, Barbara McGee.
I'll just take it
For
for
you.
I'll take it for you.
And I also have one for the National Council of Negro Women Inland Empire section. So
I will take
Lois
it on
Clark will
behalf.
have it. So thank you so much for all your hard work in putting such a wonderful event together, the 7th annual State of the Women. So congratulations, and I hope I want to be here next year. So invite me. This is uplifting and it's full of energy. So thank you.
Thank you so much, Ms. Medina, and I will give these to the others as
Thank
well.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ms. Medina, and congratulations. At this time, it gives me great pleasure to invite to the podium one of the finest women making history here. From the National Council of Negro Women, the Inland Empire community, Lois Carson, will you please come up?
Good morning, everyone. I am recuperating from back surgery and a heart attack. But I would not have missed this morning for anything to be with friends throughout the Inland Empire, because you're not all from Rialto. I'm pleased to be here with Mayor Robertson, City Clerk Barbara McGee, and other city officials to celebrate women and their many achievements over the years at this State of the Women's Conference, the 7th annual, and I think I've made most of them. I am president of the Inland Empire section of the National Council of Negro Women, which is a co-sponsor of this event. I was president of the Inland Empire section years ago. I'm being recycled. When the San Bernardino Commission on the Status of Women was founded, and I was one of the elected officials to help to found that organization. At the time, there were 3 elected women: Nancy Smith with the County Board of Supervisors, Ann Botts on the San Bernardino City Council, and I was on the San Bernardino Community College Board. And we presented to the county, and the Status of Women's Commission was born. I'm going to turn this over to another former president to finish reading this, because I have difficulty standing for long periods of time in my recuperation. We have a lot of past presidents, but one has become a city clerk, one has become an assemblywoman, one has become the mayor. So all of them. So I'm calling on the one who followed me on to the college board, Beverly Powell, who is going to finish up my remarks. Oh, I can sit down? I thought I could.
Oh, let's do that. Yeah, well then, Mrs. Carson, you can finish reading it.
Yeah, I do know, but I couldn't sit down. I am here mainly to tell you a bit about the National Council of Negro Women and to encourage you to join us. NCNW was founded by Mary McLeod Bethune. Yes, the same woman who founded Bethune-Cookman College in Florida. It was a cold day in Harlem at the YWCA branch there in New York when she hosted 18 national women's organizations and then passionately urged them to form a council so that they could present collective power when they spoke to power. She said to them, if I touch you with one finger, you may not know you've been touched, or 2, or 3. But if I roll all my fingers into a fist, I can deal a mighty blow. And with that, they all said yes. Today, there are 36 organizations and 250 community-based sections, which enables women who are not affiliated with these other organizations to become members of the National Council of Negro Women. Our longtime national president, Dorothy Height, used to say, NCNW is for all women, those with a PhD, a JD, an MD, or no D. It's a y'all come organization. Our local section meets every 4th Monday at 6 p.m. at our Bethune Youth Center. Our program office is at 649 East Foothill Boulevard, next to the Payless Shoe Store. We do not meet in July and August. Membership is $51, and that includes $1 annually that we all give to Option House, our domestic shelter. Our local activities include the Bethune Youth Center, which is our major activity, and we have operated that for 27 years at that location in Rialto. We work with at-risk young adults, 17 to 22 years of age, helping them to get the 2 pillars of success, education and employment. Mrs. Bethune left us a legacy that began with, I leave you love. It ends with, I leave you finally a responsibility to our young people. We took that last plank as our program for work, and we have had youth programs since 1969. Other things that we do include working with the American Cancer Society by participating in the Rialto Relay for Life. We support the American Heart Association. We collaborate with Black Future Leaders to host the Georgia Morris Golf Classic, and you all remember Georgia Morris of Rialto. We have a school named for her too. She was one of the first African Americans hired by the Rialto School District. And as I said, we support Option House. We have flyers on the organization and membership forms at our table out in the lobby there. Please consider joining us. Thank you again, Mayor, for giving me this time to share our organization, and thank you for inviting us to co-sponsor this wonderful event with the city. Thank you.
Women's history, right here, and you are a part of it. Ms. Garcia, does anyone have a question? We have time for maybe one or two. Okay, well, I have a question. I have a question. One question. There's a lot of power in this room. There's a lot of influence in this room. What kind of influence do you need with your organization that can come from this room? What are you in need of for your organization that can come from the influence that is in this room?
I think the same thing that Mrs. Bethune said when she met with those 18 organizations. Let's form a council. Let's work together for collective power. You heard me say that our former Assemblywoman, Amita Carter, was there for the founding of our organization, worked with in a past president, Cheryl Brown, Mayor Robertson, City Clerk Barbara McGee, Beverly Powell, who was on the... We have amassed that kind of power that Mrs. Bethune talked about when she said, I leave you a respect for power to deal with the seat of power. That is why we have all of our conventions in Washington, D.C., the seat of power.
You have heard the call. I dare you to answer it. There's something for each and every one of us to do in this room. There is no reason why we are not giving our life away by volunteering to help. To the young lady who asked the question in the back about mentorship, there's a great opportunity for you to take your professional women and their skills to share with the youth that are involved in this organization. So I challenge you and I charge you to answer the call. Thank you so very much. My pleasure.
Hi, Joanne Gilbert. It's
Hi,
a
Erlinda.
pleasure to have you
Patterson,
here.
how are you?
I'm wonderful, thank you. It's a wonderful event here today.
It's wonderful. I have always attended these events, and
This is our
I
seventh.
look forward to it every year.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, and it looks like we're going to have to get a bigger place.
I think so, because we've outgrown the senior center.
Yes, we have.
Yeah.
Yes, we have. You know, the work that Deborah Robertson, our mayor, has been doing, along with Barbara McGee, and the Black Nurses Group is awesome. It's spectacular.
Yes, it is.
It
Yes.
really is.
The National Council of Negro Women.
Thank you.
Yes, right.
Thank you.
I'm also a member of that.
Oh, wonderful. Wonderful. So you have part of this.
Well, yes, we've always looked forward to working with Deborah to bring this forward for the women in this area. So it's an outstanding event, and you can tell by the audience that they look forward to coming every year to have an event such as this where women can get together and just talk about things that are of interest to women.
Yes. And you have a seat, don't you, right now?
Yes, I'm on the Rialto School Board.
Oh, wonderful.
Yep, I'm serving my third term.
Oh, wonderful.
As an elected official for the Rialto Unified School District Board.
Right. Congratulations and good luck, and let's have fun today.
Thank you, I will.
All right.
All right.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you for coming. Hi, Mike. I'm sitting here with Mike Story, City Administrator.
Hi.
Hi.
Nice to see you today.
Welcome.
Thank you.
What a busy event.
Oh my, that room's packed,
It
and
is.
we're just busting at the seams. But that's a great opportunity for me to try and find another venue that can accommodate much more people next time.
Yeah, and the job's going to fall on your shoulders.
Oh, that's okay. I'll come up with something. That's perfectly fine. I'll come up with something for
Right.
next year. But what a great opportunity to have an event for the State of the Women here for the 7th time. But the main thing is to see all the like they mentioned, empowerment that's out there in that room, and it's just a privilege for me and my wife to be here, to be able to be part of it.
Absolutely. Yes, I saw your wife out there, and really pretty lady.
That's my better half, and that's definitely, if anyone's empowered, it's her, and she's the one that makes me look good, either in the job and the way I dress and everything. But the main thing is she's along my side, and we're a good team to be able to make this happen. But it's a great opportunity for her to be out here too, and feel part of the community and embrace the energy that's in that room.
Wonderful, wonderful. Well, thank you so much. Thank you for sharing a few thoughts with us. And we look forward to number 8.
Absolutely. We'll have a venue like this, a little different room, but we'll have a bigger place where we can accommodate a couple of hundred more people for our community. But it's been a great opportunity to come out and see just how things have changed with a new mayor and new assemblywoman and new congresswoman and our school board member and stuff. It's a great opportunity to come out and celebrate the success of women and what the future holds for this community with them.
Absolutely. And
So.
from what I hear also, just food for thought, you're doing an amazing job.
Well, thank you. And
Keep up the great work.
I appreciate that and everything. It's because of the employees and my opportunity that they've given me, and hopefully they'll give me the opportunity to continue to do it and make Rialto a better place for people to live, work, and play.
Absolutely.
So, all right.
Thank you so
Thank
much,
you so
Mike.
much.
Thank
all right.
you. Wow, it's such a busy event today.
It is. It's great. All these beautiful women dressed up and just willing to talk to each other. It's great.
Absolutely, absolutely. It's the 7th annual event.
I never knew about it. This is the first
Wow.
year I find out, and it's great. I want to come every year.
Right, right. It's an absolutely wonderful place. Did you put some business cards out there?
I put my menus out there.
Oh, very good, very good. Now, you have a business here in the city of Rialto.
I do, just recently.
Okay, and tell me what that business is all about.
Okay, so we opened up 3 months ago, and I'm all about health. I love health. I mean, I like my cookies and chocolate too, but health
every so
is
often.
priority for me. I'm vegetarian, so I could never find anywhere to eat healthy. So I decided, why not give Rialto something good? You know, we deserve
Absolutely.
it.
Then I saw your array, your display of different types of desserts.
Yes, yes.
They were very
yes.
beautiful.
They're really good too.
They
I
look
have some
like-
back there for you.
Oh, good. They look like art.
Yes, and I love that stuff. I just love the pretty and the good, and you know, even if we're health, I think that every once in a while we're women. We want chocolate, we want cookies, we want
A little something.
Yeah, so I think that was
A
just
little
good
something
for
special.
everybody.
Now,
Mhm.
where is your location?
We are at 214 East Foothill Boulevard. We're between Riverside and Sycamore.
Okay.
We're at the Smith's Health Store.
Okay.
So we're inside. You really can't tell it's a cafe.
So
and
you have to go in.
You have to go inside, and you can see outside the umbrellas and the chairs. And but once you go inside, it's a really mellow and just calm ambiance. It's just really relaxing.
We're gonna have to check that out.
Yeah, really
Yeah,
good.
really gonna have to check that out. What made you decide to go into a business as a woman?
As a woman, I come from a family of business owners. I'm first generation. My parents are from Jalisco, Mexico.
Okay.
And I was born here in Santa Monica. I was raised in Inglewood.
Okay.
So I'm an Inglewood girl. Yeah. So I just saw my parents, my uncles, my aunts. They have stores. They have bakeries. So it's just kind of embedded in me.
It was something that you had to do
Yeah.
because that's what it's supposed to be done.
Yeah, and I mean, I went to school. I wanted to be a preschool teacher, and then I was doing the classes, and I was like, oh no, I can't do this.
Yeah.
I can't do this. So I decided, okay, what am I gonna do? I'm visually impaired.
Okay.
So
what exactly is visually impaired? What does that mean?
Visually impaired means legally blind.
Okay.
20/20 is perfect. When you're 2200 with correction, you are considered to be legally blind.
Oh.
Right. And I'm 2600.
Okay.
So I don't even drive.
But that didn't stop you.
No. I
So-
decided to go to school. There's a program. It's Randolph-Shepard's Act through the state of California, and all states have it. You go to school, you get licensed, and then you can run your own business.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Well, I'm glad that you're participating in this event today.
Thank you.
And
Thank you
it
for
is-
having me.
Thank you so much. And we look forward to having you at our 8th annual event.
I would love it. I have to
All
bring my girl.
So thank you
That's
so
great.
much. Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
And thank
Really
you for
appreciate
being
it.
part of what we're doing. Welcome.
Thank you for
I'm
having
so
me
glad
here.
you're here.
Thank you so much. My name is Jose Sorzano. I'm a community disability representative from Inland Empire Health Plan.
Oh, well, wonderful, wonderful. What exactly does Inland IEHP stand for?
It stands for the Inland Empire Health Plan, and it's a program designed for anybody that qualifies for Medi-Cal.
Oh, wonderful, wonderful. So you're here representing the group.
I'm representing the group and the disability community.
Oh, wonderful.
Awesome.
Wonderful. It's our 7th annual event for women. And isn't it a wonderful event?
It's so awesome, and I'm really impressed because I actually live in Rialto.
Uh-huh.
And it's so wonderful that the city's going out there and reaching out to the community and educating about the resources that are available. So I'm happy to be a proud citizen of Rialto.
Very good.
Thank
Very
you very
good.
much.
Thank you for coming. And hopefully next year, number 8, you'll be back.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you very much. Have a
Thank
great day.
you.
Bye-bye.
You have-
And we are returning to the State of the Woman conference here in the city of Rialto. This afternoon, joining us, local businessman Ken Vernon. Ken, welcome. Tell us a little bit about your business here in Rialto. What's the name of it, and what do you do?
Our name is Haberl Environmental, and we provide environmental engineering and consulting services. We do phase 1 environmental site assessments, phase 2 environmental site characterizations, and phase 3 environmental site cleanups. We do water resource studies, and we also provide site characterization and remediation or cleanup services. We basically test soil, groundwater, and determine whether or not there are any contaminants that are affecting those media, and if so, to what extent they do that, and how can you go about cleaning those up.
Well, yes, that's very important to the community and to the residents of the community, because basically, would you say fair to characterize what you do as keeping the citizens of the community safe from harmful contaminants?
Yeah, I'd agree with that. We like to think of ourselves as providing a public service.
Fantastic.
Our service to the public.
How long have you been in business? Where are you located?
We've been in business since 1999, and we're located in the city of Rialto. I've had a home here in Rialto for over 20 years, since 1989. My wife and then my son moved here back then, and since then we've had 2 daughters, and unfortunately my wife has passed on, but I remarried a few years ago, and my wife, new wife, has lived here at Rialto with me for a little over a year, and so we've been citizens here for quite a while.
Strong family roots in the community. Well, this is my understanding, your first opportunity to participate at the State of the Woman?
Yes, it is. It is. My wife, Connie, she told me about it a few weeks ago, and she said, hey, I've made reservations for us to attend the women's conference. And I thought, well, I'm a guy, why would I go to a women's conference? And she said, well, come along. It's going to be good. There's a lot of good things going on there. It's a good opportunity to network, and you'll be welcome there. And I've had a good time here this morning. It's been really going well, and met a lot of interesting people, and a lot of outstanding women of power and influence who are role models for women everywhere. I have 2 daughters, as I said, that are in college, and I can see them becoming women of power one of these days, and these ladies are good role models for them, I think.
Well, it sounds like it's been a good morning.
It has, definitely.
Well, Ken, I'd like to thank you for coming out and talking with us, and good luck in the environmental business.
Well, thank you. I appreciate you having us here.
I know I wasn't going to be able to go to no game. I was not prepared to graduate, but I didn't give up. I got courage from God. I studied hard, and I graduated from high school. I graduated 2 weeks after my son was born. I walked that aisle. After that, I was sitting at home with my son and a husband. But I didn't know what to do with my life. And I turned around and I looked at God and I told him, guide me through the path that you want me to go. And sure he did. I stood up, I started going to college, and I was blessed to get a job in Children and Family Services from San Bernardino County, working with foster children. Right now I am still going to school, I'm still going to college. I'm studying to get my bachelor's in psychology, and I know I will make it. I know I will, because I believe in God. And I am only 20 years old. Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you, Nancy. Let's give her another hand. This is courage in action. Not just courage, but courage in action. And we celebrate you today. Thank you so much for sharing. Lauren Bush said, when you see other women doing great things, it should call you to action. You should be inspired. I know I am. You should be as well. At this time, it gives me great pleasure to introduce our keynote speaker for today. We're going to have Kim Carter come and share words of wisdom and encouragement, empowerment, and inspiration. Kim is the founder and executive director of Time for Change Foundation. She is a woman of courage in action here in our community in the Inland Empire. Ladies and gentlemen, please give her a warm welcome as she approaches the podium. Kim.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. And I want to say to my previous speaker, that was a lot of courage, and you shared your story. And here today in Women's Her Story Month, it's all about the stories. It's about being empowered from each other's stories. When I think back to the story of Harriet Tubman, who's my favorite. You know, Harriet Tubman was a slave, and she found freedom, but when she found freedom, she had to get to freedom. She had to go through some trials and tribulations. She had to go through the dark in the woods in the middle of the night. I mean, she had to really get to freedom. Understand what I'm saying? And when she was on her way, she started thinking, Lord, show me a sign. He'd give her a star. Lord, I hear him calling me. I see the torches in the woods. I hear the dogs barking in the woods. The Lord said, just keep on going. Just keep on going. Just keep on going. And when she got to freedom, she looked at her hands and she was like, am I still the same person? I done crossed the line. Am I still the same person? But the Lord wasn't through with her yet. Because the Lord whispered in her ear, yeah, you over here, but I'm going to need you to make another trip. Now, she could have easily said, I got mine, I'm here now, and I ain't going back. And I wouldn't even been mad at it because they was really killing folks, for real, right? They was killing folks. But instead, she listened to what her God said, right? And I'm telling you that God speaks to every one of us. He's no respecter of persons. God told her to go ahead back and help others get to freedom. And so when I think about her story, it empowers me because I'm the one who was entrapped and enslaved. I'm the homeless lady you see outside laying on the side of the road. That's me. I'm the one that was hooked on crack cocaine. That's me. I'm the one that been to prison 15 times with 3 W numbers. That was me. But God was like, but I'm not through with you yet, Kim. I'm not through with you. Right? And today, I get to go back into the prisons to share my experience, my strength, my story to other women to show them that we recover from that. Right? We recover from that. Rehabilitation is real. But see, if I would have just got my job at the Orange Show and got my little husband in my little house and I'd have stayed there, right? I'd have been working and I'd have been looking for pink slips too, but God was like, that's not going to be your story. That's not going to be your story. I'm not going to allow you to sit in here with your office and your phone and stay. You fit to go out there and start something. So my mind said, okay, the Lord wants me to start something. It should be Kim's Place or, you know, K&M something. God was like, no, it's going to be called Time for Change Foundation. And when I started Time for Change Foundation, I didn't know then what we was going to be changing besides women's lives. I didn't know we would go from breaking laws to making laws. You don't got to be a policymaker to make laws. I've made 7 of them myself. Ms. Carson was talking about the PhDs. I got the PhD, right? I'm in the community doing things, and when people are doing scholarly work, They call me for evidence-based research. They call me because I'm a subject matter expert. And I'm not bragging or boasting. Don't get me wrong. It's just that I've had some experiences around here that I've been able to let God wake me up, shake me up, make me up, stand me up, and be bold and courageous in what he would have me to do. Marian Edelman, she said, it's not darkness that's our fear, it's our light. It's walking into our greatness, into our power. Until we stand up and as women put our foot down and raise the community up, we're going to have a lot of things going on around here. Right? I ask myself, are we putting our best foot forward? When I see that we got dropout rates, when I see that we got crime and homelessness and joblessness, are we as women coming together to put our best foot forward? Because sometimes we get into these positions and there's so many rules and regulations, you're just like you in jail. Because you can't even break the binds that tie you because it's the law. But see, we get to make those laws, ladies and gentlemen. We get to make them laws fit to what we need them to be. But we got to be courageous and we got to be bold. Now, one of my other favorite authors, I love her to death, Sojourner Truth. She said, when God made the first woman, and she had the strength to turn the whole world upside down, surely all of us together can turn it right side up again. If we but come together, right? Eleanor Roosevelt said, when you decide what you're going to believe in, because you got choices, ladies and gentlemen. When you decide what you're going to believe in, and then you make your mind up to something about it, she says, just go do it. Be courageous, be bold. So when you see that, we went from having one shelter to 10. When you see we went from having shelters to apartment buildings. When you see we went from looking for a job to creating a job, it's because we just been bold and courageous to do what God said do. That's all it is, right? And I don't have a choice. Because I remember what it was like to be hungry, angry, lonely, and tired. I know what it was like to be in the cold, in the wet, in the rain, right? Up smoking all night long, folks walking by judging. But see, God is the best of judges. And see, he was shaping me and molding me so I won't have to fall and be victimized or be subjected to what others think about me. I get to walk in my own brand of dignity today, ladies, because I have a God in my life that's good. And I have to always share my story. I don't get to walk around like I just came to this world looking like I look today. Having my hair covered, all that. No, I was going without bathing. I was doing everything under the sun, but God still had use for me. So I'm saying to you ladies that when we get into our little cliques, it only serves to divide us. Classism, racism, sexism, and all that. We can come together. We need all classes. We need all sexes. We need all races. We don't got to separate on those things. Those are the very things that can bring us all together to work together. So I'm asking you, what is it about your story? What is it, that one thing that you know you still want to do? Somebody in here wanted to write a book. Somebody in here wanted to open up a men's shelter. Somebody in here wanted to forget. What is it that's holding you back from doing that thing, that very thing that God wants you to do? Because I can look around and tell that some of us are holding on to these great ideas. And we got the know-how, but where's the courage? Where's the boldness? Where's the support for one another? My sister in the back just started a company called God Said Yes. Yes, God is speaking. Yes, God is speaking. Okay? So when God is speaking, we don't hear the things that say, oh, no, the little dream killers. Oh, you can't do that. Oh, no, Miss Carter, you couldn't do that because you have to have so and so and so. Oh, no, Miss Carter, you could never do that. Da, 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 da. I was able to take $1.5 million, develop my first affordable housing project, and 98% of the money went into my community. It didn't go down the freeway. It didn't go to Orange County. And guess what? All my folks got jobs. All my folks got jobs. All of them. All of them. So if somebody says, you just don't have the capacity, you know, the talent is just not here, I say challenge that. We are enough. We have what we need. We are enough, and together we can be stronger. Whenever that little voice comes inside of you that just tells you what you think you should do, listen to it. So many times that voice comes inside, and we say, oh, no, 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 I can't do that. I remember for myself, think for myself. When I was working at the Orange Show, my little accountant job, I was happy as a lark. Finally got past the background check somewhere to get a job, right? I was never gonna go nowhere because I was tired of that humiliation, that rejection that I faced every time I looked for a job. People keep asking about my past. Well, for sure, I still need a job to take care of my family and my kids. You keep asking about yesteryear. I'm looking into the future, right? But the Lord said, I want you to leave your job and start time for change. I'm like, leave this job? Oh, no, that ain't the devil talking. That's the devil talking to me. That ain't God. Oh, no, no, no. But at 4 in the morning, 3 in the morning, I like to sleep. If I'm getting up at them hours in the morning in the peacefulness, quietness, hearing the voice, it's not the devil, that's the Lord. Waking me up, he was saying, leave your job. I was like, no, I got this daughter, you know, she's in college now. She went to a HBCU, and I got to make sure I send them checks. You know, I got to get them checks. And so the Lord was like, leave your job. I was like, but no, Lord, you know, I know you don't want me to leave my job because there's this thing called health insurance. And, you know, you got to keep that health insurance, right? Because I heard it on CNN and all the radio. You got to keep that insurance, right? So the Lord said, go ahead and leave that job. And so I said, Lord, you said that. So here I've been on this job for 10 years, and we had health insurance the whole 10 years. So while we got a notice, it wasn't a pink, it was a yellow one. And it said, as of April the 1st, we would no longer be offering you health benefits for class 2 and 3 employees. Class 1 employees, executive, they still getting fully paid. So I was like, well, no, maybe it's a mistake, because, you know, I am the accountant around here. I do see the budget. We do got some money. Maybe we're going to pay our own premium now, you know? They was like, no, none. I was like, Lord, you took the health insurance? You know? So anyway, on March 15th, because March 15th is my sobriety birthday, and I celebrate that birthday, you know. And so here's how God worked it out. So he can make sure I knowing is him. So you got to put a 2-week notice in. So on March 15th of 2002, I put my notice in to the Orange Show that I will be leaving as of April 1st, which is the day of no more health insurance, right? And so my husband was like, my ex-husband, he was like, he said, the Lord really told you to leave your job? I was like, yeah. And he said, okay, then I'll support you. I'll support you. We'll be all right. Because back then, real estate was good and all that, right? So he said, we'll be all right. So I left that job, not knowing how to start a business, not knowing how to get a 501c, not knowing anything, but I had time to go find people. And there's people in this room, and there's people in this community that I was able to go to and say, how you do this right here? How you do that? I just come straight out and ask you. I'm not one of those ones that's scared because you're the mayor, I can't talk to you. I'm going to talk to you. I'm going to talk to you and you. Titles, I'm not all into that. Titles don't do nothing for me. If you have the knowledge, information I need, I'm going to talk to you. That's it and that's all. So I was able to make my little way around and get what I need to do. And I tell you, I didn't have an office, I didn't have a salary. Today we are a multi-million-dollar organization. In a matter of over a 60-day period, this is just recently, I thought I was being punished. In 60 days, Ms. Carson, we got $1.2 million, $1.1 million, and $1.1 million in 60-day time span. I was like, Lord, because now you got all this federal regulation, you know, it's work. Money is not just money. You got the work. You got some stuff to go with it. I was like, am I being condemned? Because it just seemed like it was so overwhelming. It's so overwhelming. But I have a great staff, and I have a great group of women who are all formerly incarcerated, recovering drug and alcohol addicts who work, who have integrity, who put their best foot forward every day, and they don't be looking at the clock, oh, it's 5:30, got to go home. They do it until the job gets done. And we've been able to take the organization and take care of it. It's been able to take care of us. As a result, we have 15 sites right now. We have over 45 women who are permanently housed, and I still have my homeless shelters for women and children who are transitioning in and out. And I'll tell you that this is what the Lord raised me up for. And that's why he had me go through what I had to go through, because I needed to be resolved, I needed to be firm and committed, I needed to not take no for an answer. Because no is not an option. To me, no means it's on. It's on, it's on, it's on. So I just want to really say that, throughout the trials and tribulations, I was diagnosed with adenocarcinoma. I was given 90 days to live. I lost all my hair, had a colostomy bag on that I was supposed to keep forever and a day, but God was like, no, I'm not through with you yet. So here I am, 8 years later, cancer-free, drug-free, alcohol-free, just able to be of service. That I know that today that my life is about helping people who was entrapped and enslaved the same way that I was. And when I say entrapped is those laws and those policies that entrap you, and enslaved is the cage at the prison. So that's what my whole life is about, helping people who are entrapped and enslaved. And you'll be surprised, people in high positions are entrapped. It's not just the sister that's out there walking the street or the one that's homeless. It's the one that's in that job that can't go up and can't go out. It's the one that's in that marriage that can't get out and won't get in. You know what I'm saying? It's entrapped and enslaved goes. She funny. Entrapped and enslaved goes is universal. But I tell you, women, we have the power. We have the power. Oprah Winfrey said, take your wounds and turn it into wisdom. We all got a story. We all got a story. We all got a story to share. When you share your stories, you empower others. You help others to understand that they can overcome from that. And y'all about to say, what about in the meantime? In the meantime, what are you going to do when you're in that valley? Because you're on your way to the mountain, but you can't see the mountain. You haven't understood what happened in the valley. Because, see, that lesson had to be learned. Those trials and tribulations had to be endured. And you had to be able to persevere. So your resilience and your courage and your brilliance, and you won't be able to do that if you never go through nothing. If nothing's never happening. You ain't never saying nothing. You ain't never gonna do nothing. You're not gonna be able to tap into your power. And we are power-filled, not just powerful. I ain't gonna be the preacher today, but one more story. One more story. And this is a Bible story, so all y'all just work with me, right? So this is a story about the woman with the issue of blood that the Bible talks about. And her name is the woman with the issue of blood. It wasn't Mary. It wasn't Sarah. The woman with the issue. So she has this name in the Bible, right? But it says she had the issue of blood. And because she had this issue, her family was embarrassed for her and they didn't want her around. And because her family didn't want her around, surely the community didn't want her around neither. So they castrated her to the outer skirts of town. We don't want you around here with that issue. But don't you think if she could have changed that issue on her own, she would have? Nobody wants to be stigmatized. Nobody wants to be discriminated. If there's something they could do about it, they would, but she couldn't. But then she had this faith of a mustard seed. Right? And she had heard the good news, see, through them stories, that there was one that's going to come to town. And that this one was the real one. This one going to have the answers. This is going to be the one going to have a healing. And so she knows, she probably said to herself, if I could just think back like she would, she probably said, today's going to be my day. I'm going in. I'm going in. Like Tupac, against all odds. I'm going in. And she came into town, but surely when she came into town, the crowd was around, was like, oh, what is she doing here? Oh, I know she don't have the nerve, the audacity to come up in here. But she wasn't listening to none of that, because she knew she had to get to something. She had to get to the hem of that garment. See what I'm saying? And she wasn't going to let you stop her. She had to get there. And the Bible says that when she went to touch the hem of the garment, because she saw him and she was breaking through the crowd, I'm getting mine, I'm getting mine, I'm getting mine. And then she touched the hem of his garment. Jesus felt the power leave him. It ain't like he said, I'm giving you this power. She went and got hers. She went and got hers. And she got there, but he had to turn around and say, who is this? that just got broke off like that, right? Who is this? And turned around and seen her down there. And the Bible said that immediately she was healed. Immediately. So that lets me know that when you get yours, no matter what was the problem, when you get yours, immediately you can be healed. Immediately. You don't gotta drag it on for a little while. You don't gotta do it the next day. Immediately. And the Bible says that when she got that healing and she came into herself, it just reminded me of the day that I found out that I wasn't gonna be drinking and smoking crack no more. That I wasn't gonna be prostituting no more. That my God still had value and still had life for me. And guess what? I was still somebody. I was still somebody. No matter what had happened in my past, only God gonna set my future. And it's not gonna be held back by a man or a woman or people, places, or things, but that I had access to the one who can hear you immediately. Huh? Immediately. Assalamu alaikum. Immediately. But if we allow, as women, if we allow stigma, if all we can do is sit back and talk about what she used to be like when she had the issue, and we want to keep going to history, we never will be able to see the greatness of what God was doing. God was using her for a story. Because it's all about our stories. Right? And being able to tell our stories to empower one another. I get empowered just thinking about how she had to come back through the crowd. You know, and sometimes I'm going to tell you, the work that I do, sometimes I get lonely. Because I'm going against tradition. I'm going against, how you say it, the way it's always been done. You know what I'm saying? I'm going against status quo. You know? But hey, they talked about Jesus. They talked about him. I just need to stay out of my own way. Don't get it wrong, brothers and sisters. You don't think that I'd be happy that I have a home? That I get to have a nice car? I come from the gutter. You don't think I'm happy if I'm on TV? You don't think I'm happy that I have some jewelry that I ain't took to the dope man? I'd be happy about that. I'd be happy about that. But sometimes you can't share your happiness with folks because they dream killers. And they be thinking you bragging. But I'm not bragging. I'm just really happy. I finally got a life. You've been saying, get a life, get a life. I got a life. I got a life. You know? So we gotta learn to be happy for one another. To be happy for one another. To be joyous, to celebrate with the sister who celebrates. You see what I'm saying? And I'll tell you, I'm a giver. I'm a giver by heart, but it's true. The more you get, the more you receive. But I just keep making sure that I keep in the circle of the rotation because money is a currency and it's meant to flow. I just need to put it out and let it come back a couple of times. Put it out, come back a couple of times, put it out. Because you got to respect money. I'm talking about the finances. I'm going to sit down. You got to respect money because money got a mind of its own. Oh, so y'all know what I'm talking about? Oh, so y'all ain't never had some money one day, it's grown nation like, what happened? What happened to that money? Oh, I ran to them shoes. Got hit over the head with a brand new purse. And now I'm broke. You see what I'm saying? Money got out, and we got to learn to respect it. But we look at our community, what our community needs. Statistics say we was poor on paper. We're not even poor on paper. We're poor in ideas because we have enough money that we're spending to do what we need to do. I would like to see us create a Women of Color donor circle. You know what I'm saying? Where we put money in together as women, set up something because we need to be able to develop our own economic power, our own economic base. You see what I'm saying? And money is power. If you're using it in a way to help people, it comes back tenfold. I have ex-clients who got jobs send me $50 a month. They ain't been homeless in 7 to 8 years. They still send us regular checks because they so appreciative of having a place to go and they didn't have no money to get their life together. You understand what I'm saying? But there's so much that we can do as women. Look at our community. We in charge. It ain't a man's world. We in charge. So whatever going on in the community, we either allowing it, condoning it, perpetrating, shielding it, or we haven't got the courage to do anything about it. There's nobody that we can look at. Nobody's riding no horse in and do nothing. It's us. It's us that we're going to be doing it. Well, I don't want to be only respectful of my time. I do want to again just say to all, each and every one of you, you all have a light. A lit candle loses nothing when it lights another. So you can light somebody else's candle and still have your flame. Thank you.
I'm going to say what Lauren Bush said one more time. When you see other women doing great things, it should call you to action. Here is a woman doing great things. Celebrate her one more time.
And I just would like to tell everyone, when I spoke earlier about what really was the call to action and what caused me to start the State of the Women event, Kim was on that path with me, or actually that's where we originally met, when we were all coming together working on the African American Health Initiative, and it was she and I and Diane Wood, Dr. Woods, and one that's no longer with us who also was one of those who every day and every night had her focus and passion about one thing, and she went about doing it, and that was Patricia Green, who passed away, but her focus was on HIV and AIDS, and that was Brothers and Sisters in Action. And I must tell you, when we all came together in a room over in Fontana, it was like we were outraged. I think when we looked at the results of the fact that all of these medical things were occurring in our community and no one was doing anything about it, and we really didn't have a sense of how we could go about figuring out how to get something done about it, right, Kim? So,
and I was like, who knows about this? Who's in charge of it? Whose job needs to be had? Because this is ridiculous.
I'm serious. She was, and I'm sitting there going, whoo, one more thing to deal with. So anyway, so I just want to say from the bottom of my heart, I woke up this morning and I was kind of like, okay, this day is going to happen. I've been listening to the staff, who has been a tremendous staff at the city of Rialto. I'd seen Kim about 3 weeks ago, and she said, you know what? I'm a motivational speaker. You want me to speak sometime? I thought, sure. I had no idea, but this is what it is. And 2 weeks ago, when I had another conference with the school district, it was beginning to have a courageous conversation about gun violence and public health and our safety in our community. And I'm just going to say, Kim put the icing on the cake when she keeps talking about you got to start having a courageous conversation about who you are, what's going on, and the role that you play in your own community. So, Kim, from the bottom of my heart, thank you so much.
And on my way down, I just want to say I appreciate Ms. Robertson, because a lot of times people like, oh, send me your speech. Do you have your talking points? And that's where my God comes into play. Because I asked him for the message and he gives it to me. I couldn't write it down. I remember what I said, okay? I just smoke crack. Just let y'all know. I just know, it's real talk. I just know that God has given me a gift, and he's given us all gifts, and we use it to help one another, and that's what I do. Now, timeforchangefoundation.org is our website. We're having our 7th annual Springtime Bloom coming up April 11th. Again, it's timeforchangefoundation.org. You can Google that or Google Kim Carter and something that leads you to us. Please come support. Thank you.
Thank you.
And if you forget that, it is in your program, her name and the name of her organization. So please do take a moment to go online, visit her organization, and see how you can make a difference in what they're doing. Kim said it over and over again. Mayor Robertson got up and said it. It's all about together. We have to support one another. We need each other to survive. We need each other to survive. At this time, without further delay, I'm going to ask Mayor Deborah to come back up, and she is going to present the 2013 Jewel Award.
Thank you.
My pleasure.
And I'm going to ask if my co-host and co-worker and friend and confidant would come up here and join me as we present the inaugural first annual Jewel Award, and that's our city clerk, Miss Barbara McGee. Come on up, Barbara. And as Barbara comes up here as well, I just want to again say, this event could not happen without the directions, guidance of Barbara McGee, but also her staff, her entire staff, which is always Maria Rodriguez, Erica Sanchez, Gabe Felton, Christopher Ellis, Daryl, Angie Perry. I hope I didn't miss one, and our intern, Lorene Nilo. So would you please give the staff, the direct staff, City of Rialto, a round of applause. Thank you. Barbara? So, one of the things that I've been saying, and I will continue to say, but I'm not going to just say it without demonstrating and proving it when it comes to the city of Rialto. I honestly, truly believe I came here in 1988 to this community, and when I came, I had opportunity and choice to look at all the other communities and where I would like to live. I tell people, and I continue to say, you live in Rialto. I live in Rialto because I choose to live in Rialto. I am not trapped in Rialto, okay? And I want people to understand that. And I honestly believe that Rialto is, in fact, the jewel of the Inland Empire. And there's a reason why I feel it's the jewel of the Inland Empire, because Rialto, when you get into the community, you feel the day-to-day, the working class, the middle class, the place where people came and they had homes and residents and the school district, and they would go away to work and they could come back home and feel very good and come back to a community that was pretty much a very diverse community. It's always been a very diverse community, but it also had a feeling that was representative of the community I grew up in. And so I just really feel Rialto's the jewel of the Inland Empire. But more importantly, with this event, this is the 7th annual. As I said, this is the first one that I am actually the mayor. But I also wanted to take the opportunity, Barbara and I, to say we really need to start identifying and highlighting those who we feel exemplify being a real jewel in Rialto. So in your program, you have a copy of the bio, I will say, is it autobiography, because it was actually crafted and prepared by another NCNW member who I had called upon, who's I always feel is a great writer, and that was Miss Deborah Harris. So I would like to say thank you, Miss Harris, for taking the time and preparing this on behalf of our recipient. But this year, our award goes to the lady who you have in your program, and I would ask if she would come up. She will be receiving, and this will be an annual event, hopefully, that will be given always by the mayor of Rialto, but if not, by this activity annually. I would like you guys to come up and applaud Miss Janice Strong as she comes up to receive. Step over here and take a picture of. And before Ms. Strong comes up and speak, I would like Ms. McGee to say a few words on behalf also of Mrs. Strong and how she feels about her, because she's always in contact with either myself or with Ms. McGee on things not for herself, but always for our community. So, Ms. McGee?
No, I'm gonna leave it for Ms. Strong to say. I just want to say I enjoyed working with Mrs. Strong, and like all the people who have spoken today says, I'm a person that's about action. If you know me, you just call me, and I try and to make it happen. So that's all I'm here to do. And so I'm gonna let Ms. Strong talk about herself.
Would you like to put it in
First, I'd like to say thank you so much for recognizing me. I'm a person, I do things, and it's not important for people to know I did it, as long as it gets done. I'm like the lady said, I'm a doer. I believe that things need to get done. If I go from the top to the bottom, it needs to get done. I'm also a mother of 8. And my pledge to you mothers that are here today, I'd like for the mothers to please stand. Mothers and grandmothers, because I've done so many years with Department of Children and Family Services. A lot of our grandmothers are raising our children. So I'd like for the grandmothers to stand too. You are the community. You are the backbone of this nation. Thank you. I was telling my children today, it is our responsibility as mothers to make sure that the people that we entrust our children with are accountable. Schools. When Carter first opened, Mr. Johnson was the principal, and he would call me and he'd say, Ms. Strong, we're supposed to have a riot tomorrow. Can you get me like 100 parents up here? And I'm like, well now, did he look at his clock? It's like 11 p.m. So he wanted me to get him 100 parents up at the school. I said, well, I'm gonna try. I said, it's late, and my husband don't like me to call nobody after 8, but I tell him I'm up, so they should be up too. So I call, and we get the parents, and we're up there, and we walk the campus. And believe me, it makes a difference. I've worked, my husband coached for 20, 30 years. When you know these children from Little League at 7, Little League at 4, Pop Warner at 7, and you go up to the high school and they're getting ready to act a fool. I'm gonna be real with you. They're getting ready to act a fool. I pull them aside and I say, I know you not. Because I talked to your mother last night. You better try to get your butt in class. It makes a difference when they see a face they know. So my pledge to you parents, I know we're all trying to get ahead. But I'm going to tell you, the other week I had a little job. It was a little job, but I had a job. And I checked the little zingle. I have 3 kids that are still in high school. One at Summit, one at Eisenhower, and one at Carter. And Summit has a little thing called Zingle. And I checked it, and it said 3 Fs. I said, oh my God. And this child just got 7 Division I offers for scholarships. I'm like, oh, he got to get out of here. He can't stay with me after July. So I went in and I told the little man, I said, look, I'm not giving you no 2-week notice. I'm done today. I'm going home. I said, because the Bible says what profit a man to gain his soul but lose the world. What profit is a mother to work and get a check and lose their child? So I went home. I emailed all those teachers. I got me an appointment with them, the principal, the vice principal, all the teachers. Because my child is not a dummy. They told me he has senioritis. I said, well, somebody's offering him a scholarship, an opportunity knocking at my door, so I just got to get going and he got to get the scholarship. So what does he need to do to get his grades up? Now, I don't know if you parents have boys. I have 5 boys and 3 girls. I don't know why they keep the work in their backpack and don't give it to the teacher. I have no idea, but his work was in his backpack. So I told the teacher, now, if you work with me and he can turn this work in and get his grade up, I appreciate it. But yeah, I was begging for a grade. I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm begging for the grade because I need him to get the scholarship. He has all his test scores, great SATs, great ACTs, passed the exit exam, first time he took it. So our teachers are doing something. Now, as parents, we need to do our part and make sure they get off the iPad, they get off the cell phone, they quit texting, come in every day and do their homework, okay? I not only do this for my child, I do it for your children. If someone calls me, and like people say, if you give me your phone number and you don't want me to give it to someone, if someone needs help in the area that you do, don't give it to me. Because I'm going to say, oh, call Miss Barbara, or call Miss Deborah. She'll help you. So if you don't want your phone number given out, don't give it to me. Now, my child got his scholarship because something between my husband's genes and my genes, we raise athletes. So he had his. But there are a lot of boys, and I try to tell us what Ms. Kim is saying. We as a people have to stop saying, I got mine, you get yours. This year, when we entered football season at Summit High School, I told the parents, it is our goal to get everyone out that is academically eligible to a scholarship. There are enough colleges around to give every child a scholarship, not just my child, but every child. So it was our goal this year, whether it was football or academics, it doesn't matter. Because I need a doctor, I need a lawyer, I'm losing weight, I need a plastic surgeon for some liposuction, okay? So I need everyone, so not just football, but scholarships. This year, we got 7 boys out. Last year was 2, this year was 7. Not all of them are for football, some just academics, but that's great too. On the 18th of May, I called Miss Deborah and I called Miss Barbara. In this very room, we're gonna hold a scholarship. Each child was chosen. We have one from Carter, one from Eisenhower, and the rest are from Summit High School. My son, this is his 4th year with the Dallas Cowboys. And now, for you Cowboy fans, we didn't get treated so good, so we are leaving. No, he's an unrestricted free agent, so he's going to go basically where he feels that he fits with a good team. But he's going to be given 12 laptops away. He told me when he got his scholarship and went to Oregon State, I bought him a laptop, but a lot of his friends didn't have one. And he thought it was very important for them to leave the community with a laptop. I also feel it's important that we set up a support system. I keep up with sports because I have 5 brothers, and I grew up as the 6th person to be on whatever team they were going to play, so I was kind of a tomboy growing up. So I have 5 boys, and again, I was the 6th person, and my husband was the coach. But I want children, when they leave Rialto, to do and carry themselves as part of Rialto, to say when someone says, like if you guys read the newspaper, the 4 boys from Alabama. Someone say, let's go steal this, let's go do that. They'll say, no, you know what? First of all, my mama gonna kill me. My sisters and brothers are gonna be so hurt. And the city of Rialto will not be proud. They need to think. I give, in my backyard, we have workshops that put on decision-making, goals. And see, that's what's wrong. If you can't think and make your own choices and decisions, when somebody say, let's go steal these laptops, let's give up our 4-year ride that was free, my mother didn't have to pay and work to get me to college, I'll steal it with you. And they did, and they got caught. They're no longer students or on the football team at the University of Alabama. Now, hopefully some of them, this was their 3rd year and they were good enough and they can go try out in the NFL and make it. But then that poses other problems, because then you see when they get to the NFL, if they haven't got proper direction, proper guidance, you slap your mother, okay? It doesn't matter if she's 13 years older than you, she gave you life. A man should never raise his hand to slap a woman, okay? So we need to make sure that we are coming together as a community to make sure that we are raising our children. A lot is done for the woman, but in the end, I tell my daughter, you don't realize how much control a woman have over a man. Use it to your advantage. Because I tell her when she bring her little dates to the house, if his pants ain't up, don't bring him in my gate, okay? If he got on too much red, don't bring him in my gate. My husband have a barbecue pit and he keeps some lighter fluid. If it's too much red, he have them stripped and he burns it up. It was one little child, he never got the message. And to this day, he's a teacher though, so I guess he finally got it. But every time he'd come over, he said, Mrs. Strong, I just bought these shoes. And my husband would say, well, you shouldn't have worn them in my house. You got on too much red and I'm saving your life. Put them in the barbecue pit. He would burn it up. Too much blue. Now, I love red and I love blue, but when you dress from head to toe in our day, it could be instant death for your child, okay? So the woman holds a lot of power, even at an early age. We need to teach our daughters to use that power to their advantage, okay? With the thing on the 18th, like I said, we're gonna be having it in this very room. I called Ms. Barbara and she goes, well, what do you need? And I said, well, I went and got the application for the room, but then they're saying I gotta pay $350 and I gotta do this and she goes, well, don't worry about that. And I said, okay, and I'll get the food. And so my son's like, well, Mama, you doing all this, and you ain't got no job, and you're going to do the food, and you're going to do this. I said, Victor, I'll get it done. Don't worry. He goes, you always get it done. And it is my pleasure to do it. It is truly my pleasure because I live in the community, and I'll go up to the store, and I'll see so many kids. Miss Strong, you know who's hiring? Miss Strong, can you get me to this school? I've been out of school for a while, but I'm still staying in shape. I will make a call. When my son was in school and when he was going different colleges after him, I kept all those coaches' numbers. And I would call and I say, hey, I got this kid. First thing they ask, though, is make sure. Because we do that so many times. It is a balance. Education, athletic ability. When the scouts and when the coaches come to the school, they don't ask for, I want to see the athlete student. They say, I want to see the student athlete. So as parents, do not allow your children to be raped, sodomized, however you want to say it, for 4 years where they're running up and down that field for that coach. And then you look and he's don't have the grades, and I see some parents, well, I'm going to get him a waiver. I said, a waiver? So let me tell you what a waiver is. That means that he's got like a 1-point-something grade point average because the coach needs your son to run up and down that field and catch that ball, kick that ball, carry that ball, whatever. But you using your son with a waiver. A waiver, he can't even get out of school to do nothing for himself in life. So your child don't need a waiver. You need to have him home at the table, okay? No waiver. No parent should allow their children, and I know I'm going on and on, but you should not allow your children to play sports with a waiver. I know that sometimes they get between that C and that D, and you say to yourself, I'm going to let him play just to so he can see how good he is, so he can motivate and see that he can do it. Okay, you can try that. And if that don't work, then at some point you as a parent need to say, what does it profit me to let this child run up and down this field for 4 years, play football, be all defensive this, all CIF, all league this. Come his junior year, he still hasn't passed the exit exam. SAT scores aren't looking that good because if you can't pass the exit exam, you're not going to do good on the SAT test. Let's just keep it real, okay? Then what's really sad, and I saw it a couple of weeks ago, is all the other kids get the scholarship offers, and that kid that was really good says, Miss Strong, where am I going to go? I says, well, honey, you know, this is what we're going to do. Because there's still someplace he can go. You don't want to just tell him, just get a job and call it a day. There's still someplace he can go. He can finish, he can get his diploma, he can go to a junior college. It is nothing wrong with a junior college. But for our children, it is a harder road to hoe. Less money. So you're only a number there. They put nothing into you. They got their FAFSA, that's it. The school didn't give them that, the government did. So now the coach doesn't care whether you're getting your classes, you're getting enough to you can transfer to a Division I school. You're only a number. But if you get that 4-year scholarship and they're putting in $200,000-300,000 into you a year, I'm gonna make sure you're in study hall every night from 7 to 9. Now you're not a number anymore. I invested in you. So we have to invest in our children. And that's how I'm judging you, and not judging you, but charging you parents today to make the investment in your child. Whether it's a boy or girl. I got a daughter. And for you parents that have daughters, I'm going to pray for you all. I'm going to pray. I don't know what it is. They never know what they want. From one minute to the next, they change their mind. She told me if I took her out of Summit and put her back at Eisenhower, which she truly loves, she would get back and play basketball. Basketball has come and gone. Now she says she was going to play softball. Softball has come and gone. Now she tells me, well, there's nothing wrong with just going to college for your grades. It's not. That's a beautiful thing. But I'm still waiting on the grades. But I love my daughter because she is a good child. And I think as parents, sometimes you have to look at that. Sometimes my son will call and he'll say, Mama, I send you money every month. And at the end of every month, you broke. And I said, but Victor, I took these girls to lunch. I took these girls to a restaurant that wasn't in Rialto. We went somewhere. We had a nice sit-down dinner. I took them to the beach. I took them to UCLA basketball game. I took some boys here. He said, so where they parents at? I said, I don't know, but I took them and they had a good time, and we thank you for the money, and can you please send it next month? and it really, I do. I stay broke, but I really feel I am probably the richest woman in the world because I give, and to me, it is something our children all need to go and see what's out there. What's at UCLA? Why should I want to leave and come to this college? What's at USC? What's at San Diego State? We went to Oregon State. We loaded the van up and we took a bunch of kids there. They need to see. They need to see there's UCR, there's Cal State San Bernardino. There's nothing wrong with our schools here, but they need to see. So I do that, and like I said, I appreciate the award, and I will continue to work. And I will also make sure, I need you all to pray for my son that he gets a big signing bonus, because I really love Miss Kim's project. Like I said, I've been a social worker since I was 21. And I really feel that there is a need for us to continue to give back so that we can keep family is what it's about. If you can preserve family preservation, and a lot of that falls on the mother. So again, because it falls on the mother, you have to make sure, and I had to stop, make sure you're doing something for yourself every day. I try to walk 5 miles a day, every day. Today I just got up and I rode my bike. My daughter said I was making a lot of noise, but she's sleeping in my room with me because my husband took the other child and they went to Vegas for 7-on-7 tournament. So I think they felt like I was lonely. So she slept in my room with me, but I'm making noise, okay? But I rode my bike and I did my little exercises for my arms. And ladies, the doctor told us the biggest part for women is the middle. This is where everything is held for us, our heart disease, everything. So work on it for yourself. It profits me nothing to have 8 beautiful children if I'm not healthy to be and stay and see what they're gonna be. So I charge all of you all, do something for yourself every day. If you're not doing anything, like I said, I don't have a little job anymore. I do walk at the soccer park every morning from like 7:40 to about 9. So ladies, if you're not doing anything, come walk with me. We don't do a lot of talking, because I really don't have the breath to talk and walk yet. So I just walk. But do something for yourself, and God bless you all, and thank you so much.
Congratulations, Ms. Strong.
Well, we're going to turn this back over to Ms. RJ. But again, I just wanted you guys to have an opportunity to see one of our jewels of Rialto. And now we're going to have the ending part of the event. I'm glad that everyone has stayed. Hopefully everyone has their raffle ticket. But as I sit down, I want to say, we keep saying to all of us, we have a role to play in what goes on in our community, what goes on with our family. Ms. Strong said that, Ms. Carter said that, and I too feel like you definitely have to keep your family close and engage them and have them work with you and see what you're doing and model the way for them. So I want to take the opportunity before I get down to acknowledge my family here, because I know you guys know them, but I always like to make sure that they're in the house and they support me 110%. And that's starting with my daughter, who is sitting out here in front, Miss Robertson. And my granddaughter, who everyone knows has been since a baby, Charlie Harris. And as Ms. Strong says, I have grandchildren as well. I have 6 of them. There's 5 girls and 1 boy. And I also want to acknowledge the mother, daughter-in-law to my last 2, I call them the bookends, my 2 little granddaughters, and that's Miss Brenda Valencia in the back there. Raise your hand, Brenda. So that's family for me. Of course, it goes without saying, I think all of you know that my sister-in-law, who I just love dearly and follow behind her all the time, but I do want to acknowledge her because she's in the house, and that's, of course, Rialto School Board Trustee, Miss Joanne Gilbert. And the last thing, I really appreciate that you guys acknowledge the fact that I am the first African-American mayor for the city of Rialto. I really appreciate it. That's history in making, but as I say, it's that moment in history. It's now been in making, but the real role for me, and it's always been, is to make sure that I'm not the last mayor in Rialto. we have to make sure we mentor and we help people to go forward and succeed. That's what we've been doing in National Council of Negro Women. There's over 9, I think, elected officials that are just in the Inland Empire section alone of African American women. And it's more important to not take pride in the fact that you're the first, but to really be able to look behind and make sure that you can see someone and make sure that you're not the last. So with that, I close. Thank you.
I am confident that you have enjoyed yourself thus far. Am I right? Yes. Awesome. Take what you've heard today and give it away, because it doesn't matter what you have. Life is measured by what you give. So you've learned a lot. You've met a lot of great people here. Take it and share it with someone else. All right, Pastor, are you still here? You are. We're going to have you come and pray a blessing of protection over us before we leave. And just before you come,
I just want to say again, I want to take the opportunity once again, thank everyone. And also more, especially I'd like to take the opportunity to thank all of you who took the time to be recorded by our 2 co-hosts. This will be aired on our Rialto channel. And that's the co-hosts today were Miss Erlinda Patterson, who is one of our cable advisory commissioners, and Mr. Otis Jackson, who is also a co-host for KCAA 1050, Bringing Business to You. And I just want to thank them for offering and volunteering their time to assist us in this occasion. So thank you guys. And now if we can call the Reverend back up. Ms. McGee, did you have any closing comments you'd like to make? Please. And thank you, young ladies.
No, I just want to thank the people who all donated and sponsored those baskets for you. All those was donated. So we definitely want to thank the people who donated those baskets. So let's give a round of applause for those people. And I also want to give one more round to my volunteers, these young ladies here today. So I want to say thank you.
All right. I just want to say it's my first time attending here, and I'm so excited to be here and honored, and I just thank you. We're from Lost and Found Ministries. I'm here with my mom and my daughter, and we're new to the community, okay? And I knew that we had a new elected mayor, Mayor Robertson, but I got to tell you, I didn't know her first name, and as I was praying about this event, God told me study about Deborah. And when I got here and opened the thing and I said, Deborah, you could have knocked me over. But I said, this is from God. So that's good. I know you probably know this already, but Deborah in Hebrew means bee. And we could call her the queen bee, because she is, amen? And that's what I was going to say. Bees are worker bees, amen? And the bees, they produce honey. Honey is sweet. Honey is a source of strength. And you know Deborah, if you've ever studied about her in the Bible, she's in the book of Judges 4 and 5. If you haven't, I encourage you to do so. And she was a leader, a warrior, a counselor, and a wife. And of course, we're mothers, sisters, grandmothers, aunties, cousins, right, sisters. And we're producers, like the bees, and we're workers. So right now, I just want to pray that all of us women here and all of the women in the community of Rialto, that we have that spirit of Deborah. And that's what I'm going to pray for right now. I just wanted to give you that background so when I'm praying, you know what you're understanding me. So just join me as we pray to leave this place. I thank you, Father, for all the beautiful women, your daughters here, Father, today. I thank you for the words that were given, the words of wisdom, the encouragement, the motivation. I know I was motivated. I thank you, Lord, for just having me here. And the blessings that we've received today. I thank you for that, Father, and I do pray protection over every woman here. As we leave this place, your angels have charge over us. and no weapon formed against us shall prosper. In the name of Jesus, amen? Amen. Thank you for having us.
Good afternoon, and joining us today is Gwen Correa. She's with the California Department of Transportation. She is an attendee at the State of the Woman Conference in Rialto, city of Rialto. Tell us, what did you gain from today's event?
Today's event was fabulous. The one thing that I think resonated with my spirit was the courage in action. There was a lot of testimony of women who have gone through adversity. However, they were being molded to achieve greatness. And they had to be bold and courageous to take the steps that they needed to do in order to do what was the master plan for their lives. So basically, the whole theme resonated with service. We are here to do service for others. And as a community, if we as women don't come together, because the power's in our hand. One thing one of the speakers said was it took a woman to turn the world upside down, into one woman, and together, all women, we can fix it. We can turn it right. So if we see chaos in our communities, if we see crime in our communities, we see kids, students dropping out of school in our communities, we have three choices. We can look the other way, we can ignore it, or we can take a call to action and be courage in action and do something about it.
A call to action and networking. That's a very important factor to alleviate any systemic problems throughout a community. And all communities, if they take this model approach, they could be better, harnessing the resources of women in the community. I've got another question I'd like to ask you, and that is, because of the sponsorship and the number of vendors here today, did you see any vendors or sponsors that you thought were very good for today's event?
I actually support all small vendors because I am also an entrepreneur. I have a home-based travel agency, so whenever I go to events, I like to support other entrepreneurs who come out, take the time to showcase their products. But I did like the fact that the Arrowhead Credit Union was here. And that's because I used to live in the Redlands area, and that was my credit union. And they always delivered high-quality customer service. But also the fact that all the vendors, everyone who supports this, shows the support for this type of event with all the beautiful gift baskets for raffle. And I happened to see one. I didn't win one, but I'm still a winner. But I happened to see one that was given by actually the mayor. And I saw that it was stuffed chock full of things that I would have loved to have. But it just shows, though, that the community is coming together. These types of events are the catalyst to bring us together and to challenge us to go out there and do something and make change. One of the speakers said that you don't have to have the PhD as long as you have the PhD.
PhD. I heard that. That was very inspiring. I have one other request of you, and then I want to thank you for coming out today. Tell us, how do we reach you at your travel business?
My travel agency is Memorable Moments Travel, and it's memorablemomentstravel.com.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for having me, and I really was blessed today.
Hello, and I'd like to welcome you to a post-interview for the State of the Woman conference that was held here today in the city of Rialto, sponsored by Mayor Deborah Robertson in the city of Rialto. So tell us, who are you and what did you gain from today's event?
Well, thank you for having me. My name is Sherry Muhammad. I was invited at the last minute to come, so I was like, okay, I'll go. I really enjoyed the conference. I thought it was phenomenal. I enjoyed the speakers. Everyone just really gave a good talk of encouragement. And it really, I was like, gosh, I can step out a little bit more. I can be a little bit more courageous in what I'm going to go accomplish. I just felt a good spirit over the whole conference. I thought it was really, really good.
The keynote speaker, if I recall correctly, spoke about challenging folks to step up and become doers in their community.
Yes.
Do you see where, as a result of today's event, you will be able to make a contribution to the community?
You know what? I really believe that I can do that. And I just felt so touched by her speech. It was all aspects of her speech didn't fit each person, but there was a part of her speech that fit me, fit the other sister, So it was good in that sense. And I was really enthused and pumped up. I was like, gosh, I can go out there and I got to believe and know that it can be done. So I told the mayor, I was like, if you need me to volunteer, wherever you need me, just let me know and I'll come in and help.
Excellent, excellent.
So yes, I do believe that.
So in your words, the motivational speaker touched everyone in the room?
I believe so. I believe she did. She came across, she was very, very down to earth. I just thought she was a beautiful person. I really wanted to meet her, but I guess she had to leave early. And tell her and hug her and just get some of that energy from her, even though she did verbalize it. I wanted to just hug her, to feel her energy. But I thought definitely everyone got something. It was phenomenal. It was really, really good. And her story is so good and it's so real, because even in my own families,
yes,
and a lot of our families, that very same life that she lived, people in my family are living. So and I can see her change, and that just gives me hope that people in my family can eventually change.
Well, Ms. Muhammad, I want to thank you for coming out today. And one other question on the way out that I'd like to ask you is, the 8th annual event will occur next year. Do you think you'll be in attendance?
I would love to be in attendance, and I want to help. So whatever way I can help, then I'll be more than happy to do so.
Thank you for coming out.
Thank you, sir.
Bye-bye.